I'm going to talk about low back pain among eldercare workers. What is the occupational physical activity sweet spot? We know that eldercare workers is a professional group that has a high prevalence of low back pain, and approximately 51 to 71% of them report having pain in the low back. In addition, 46% report having high pain intensity, and that is on a numeric scale from 0 to 10. Having high pain intensity is greater than 7. Consequences of pain include high sickness absence, disability pension, and early retirement and exit from the labor market. Previous studies have tried and have identified known risk factors of induced and sustained low back pain among eldercare workers, and those are manual handlings, awkward postures, lifting or carrying items or the patients themselves. However, recent research hypothesizes and suggests that harmful occupational physical activity and sitting time can also be a risk factor for low back pain among eldercare workers. And when we are talking about occupational physical activity and sitting time, that is, of course, sedentary behavior or sitting, light physical activity, standing, and moderate to vigorous physical activity. And to give you an example, what could be a harmful occupational physical activity, that could be prolonged standing time at work without the possibility of having a break to be used as a recovery mechanism. Previous research have made efforts to reduce the harmful effects of occupational physical activity. However, they have been unsuccessful. And what is the reason? That is that they look these behaviors in isolation. So they examine only standing time and the association with low back pain, or the same with light physical activity and so on. Instead of actually looking the combination of them, of those activities, and how this influences low back pain. And now you might wonder why to look at the combination of them and why it is important. It is important because this physical activity and sitting time are data that are codependent by nature, and that means, in a practical example, that in an 8-hour shift that an eldercare worker has, increasing sitting time, or like having sitting time for 5 hours, would actually lead to the decrease of the rest of the activities just to fit in those 8-hour shift. And that could have like multiple combinations, of course. This is just one example. So what if instead of reducing the harmful occupational physical activity, we approach it with a new method and a new approach, and that would be to identify the sweet spot of them. And when we are talking about the sweet spot, and what is the sweet spot actually? That is the optimal balance between the combination of occupational physical activity and sitting time over the course of the workday that would actually provide eldercare workers with their best musculoskeletal health. So what we don't know is like what combination of OPA is the sweet spot actually. In an 8-hour shift, could that be a good combination? That could be 4 hours of moderate to vigorous physical activity, 1 hour of sitting time and standing time, and 2 hours of light physical activity? Or could that be a good combination actually, with 20% of their time being performed on light physical activity, moderate to vigorous physical activity, and sitting time, and then 40% of your time actually doing standing work? We don't know that, although studies have started already to look into that. That is mainly on children population, and currently we know nothing about what is the sweet spot of the eldercare workers. Thus, the aim of the study was to identify the sweet spot of daily durations of occupational physical activity for best musculoskeletal health in elder care workers. And for that study, we used the Danish observational study of elder care work and musculoskeletal disorders, where we have included 441 elder care workers and data collected from the capital region of Denmark, where data collected from 2011 to 2013. And the data that we collected were questionnaire survey, health checks, accelerometry data of the physical activity and sedentary time, SMS data on the pain intensity, and diaries where elder care workers wrote when they went off bed and when they got up, or when they went to sleep, and what time they were at work and not at work. In terms of like the accelerometer data, we use an Actigraph triaxial accelerometer where elder care workers had to wear it on their thigh for 4 consecutive days, and that would measure their physical activity and sitting time. And then we categorize these behaviors, these activities into 4 types. So sitting and lie during work was constituted sitting, standing still and move constituted standing time, slow walk constituted light physical activity, and fast walk, run, and stair climb constituted moderate to vigorous physical activity. Low back pain intensity, which was our outcome, was measured in a 1-year follow-up period via SMS, where elder care workers had to reply on every month that they were asked. And in terms of our results, on average, elder care workers was 46 years of age, 79% had Danish ethnic background, 96% were female, and then 58% they were working the morning shift at the nursing homes. So what was their observed occupational physical activity? That included 3 hours of sitting time daily, 3.7 hours of standing time, 0.2 hours of light physical activity, and 1 hour of moderate to vigorous physical activity. And what was their sweet spot of occupational physical activity? That is like the combination of these activities that would actually predict the lowest low back pain, which was 2 on a scale from 0 to 10. And that was actually 5.8 hours of sitting time, 0.7 hours of standing time, and also 0.7 hours of light physical activity, and 1 hour of moderate to vigorous physical activity. And on the opposite, what was the worst occupational physical activity time zone? That would actually have the worst predicted low back pain, and that was 4 from the numeric rating scale of 0 to 10. And that was actually 1.6 hours of sitting time, 3.2 hours of standing time, 0.5 hours of light physical activity, and 1.8 hours of moderate to vigorous physical activity. So you can clearly see that like with more standing time and moderate to vigorous physical activity, people would have more higher low back pain. In terms of our discussion, this study highlights the fact that more sitting time at work and more light physical activity provided better musculoskeletal health for elder care workers. However, our cohort was relatively small with 441 people. So in the future, we need bigger cohorts, bigger sample sizes, and longer follow-up period just to disentangle this complex association between occupational physical activity and low back pain. Our results are also clinically significant because moving from the worst occupational physical activity time zone to the sweet spot reduced your pain by 2 units, and previous studies have shown that like reducing your pain by 2 units in people who have low back pain can actually improve their quality of life. And now a very important matter and question is like how to translate these results into practice and what we can do with these results. I would say that these results can help actually practitioners and policymakers to develop guidelines on how work can be organized in order to be health enhancing and to provide better musculoskeletal health for eldercare workers. And practical examples could include increasing sitting time and reducing standing time by suggesting to the eldercare workers to sit more while they're preparing the drugs of the patients and while feeding the elderly or putting on their socks. And other practical examples could be to increase light physical activity and decrease moderate to vigorous physical activity. That could be to slow walk while visiting the rooms of the patients, or walk to take the elevator instead of using the stairs. Finally, I want to say that this approach is not to be used like in cut-off, just like we have to have like 72% of sedentary time in order to have the best possible musculoskeletal health. But actually, the success of this method would be to bring the eldercare workers closer to the sweet spot. Thank you.
Thank you.